bingo, bango, bongo. Texting. We are back in the sack. Segment 3, all things preseason foot NFL action, which is starting. It actually already started with the Hall of Fame game. The good doctor is back with us right there.
The Holy Doctor.
The Holy Doctor, yes. So segment 3, NFL preseason expectations. What are you looking for? I've always said health is number one priority, especially in week 1 and 2 when nobody you care about basically plays. And what you're looking for is a diamond in the rough. Is there a guy that we're looking at on either side of the ball in these first 2 weeks that we think it can make the roster and maybe make an impact? Because they're going to, look, you watch the round of cuts after this is over. This is fucking just men.
When do they cut? After the second game?
They cut after every game.
Oh,
the
really?
roster goes down and down and down. They have to be at 53 the week of that first week, meaning week 1. By that week, you have to be at a 53-man roster, I think. I believe. I could be wrong on that, but it's around that
It's
time.
sooner. It might be sooner than that.
Well, you can cut at any rate you want. You could be there before, but you have till that time to get to it. That's what I'm saying. If they're there after week 2, okay.
No, I don't think anything is.
I don't think anything. No, but I'm saying you're evaluating players. So what are they looking at? What are you looking for? I know in terms of the Patriots, health is a big thing, and these receiving cores. There's a kid in the 6th round they drafted named what's his name? He's literally they're and by the way, everybody's been saying this about him. He's been the best receiver in camp, and that's with Schuster and Parker having good camps right now. They're both playing really well in camp. This kid's been better than both of them, and he's 5'8". He's a little slot guy like Troy Brown, Wes Welker, and Julian Edelman. That's where they're talking about him, like that. So, and it's everybody.
Demario Douglas.
Yeah,
I've been seeing a lot of chatter about him on Twitter.
No, but I follow all of the Patriots media websites. Tommy Curran, Mike Reese, all of them. And every one of them has been talking about this kid. So if they're all seeing it, it can't be made up.
What about this other guy from the 6th round, Keyshawn Boot?
Who came from LSU.
I've been hearing about him, too.
Yeah, well, they were saying he had first-round talent, but he fucked up.
He got hurt?
He got hurt, then he fucked up. Get suspended, did some stupid stuff. Injury was part of it, but from a talent perspective...
5'11", 195.
Yeah, they were saying, LSU was saying he was as talented as any freaking player on that for the past 3 years, which would include Jamar Chase and guys like that.
That's wide receiver right
yeah,
there.
So they've become that. So, I mean, the thing is, I am looking to see this kid in game 1. He's going to play. So,
6th round picks will usually play in most of games.
So I'm looking to see what all the hype is about. They're saying he's very good in the slot. He can his quickness. He's always, as Mac Jones said on Friday night when I saw his last interview, he said the dude's always open. It doesn't matter what play we're in. If it's a passing play and I'm going to raise, when I get to him, he's always open.
This is the Demario kid?
This is the Demario kid. He's always fucking open. It doesn't matter what, and the Patriots secondary is very good. Yeah. It doesn't matter what, this is what Mac Jones said, it doesn't matter what coverage he's faced, because the one thing Belichick does is he constantly mixes up the coverages to give the quarterback different, which he should be.
Tough for young offensive players
to play against
to recognize.
Look at Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks. It's frightening. That's the one thing he does seem to own. But the thing is, this receiver
still knows what's going on.
Who's a rookie, I might add, literally makes the right read on these check with me routes. No matter what the coverage is, he gets open.
That's good.
No matter what the coverage. Okay, man zone, press man, soft zone, man zone, man underneath, zone help, whatever the fuck it is, okay, he's open. Through 10 days of training camp. The motherfucker is always
open.
He's open. I'm not saying it. They're all saying it.
He's like fucking 7-Eleven.
It's like everybody that has eyes on that field has that fucking kid's always open.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Is that what they're going to call him? 7-Eleven?
That's what we call this set.
Always
7-Eleven.
open?
Always open.
Always open.
He's always open. So I'm looking for that. Now, and I don't know how, I'm sure you've looked at the Giants roster. Is there a name? Is there somebody you're looking at? The left tackle? If they draft
so left tackle is the best player on their team, Andrew Thomas. He was
not a bad spot to have the best player.
He was like second team All-Pro last year.
Yep.
But I mean, there's guys like you're talking about. They have a 6th round corner that they picked out of ODU.
Okay.
That they're saying
great things about.
Yes. Yeah. But it's the other thing I struggle with is like, what is real? What can you actually absorb in the preseason and think it means something. You know, because
Well,
if preseason has always been, if it wins, it doesn't matter because it's preseason.
It's not about wins and
and
losses.
if they lose, you go, oh fuck. they
preseason
lost.
to me is about individual roster development,
Yeah.
not the fucking record. That doesn't mean a shit to me. Okay, I've seen teams have a great preseason. They went 1-3, but when you look at what happened on the roster, they had a great fucking in terms of what they did when the regular season started. They hit the ground running and they blasted people.
But see, I guess my
So,
thing is I
it's
have
not
a
about the
hard
record.
time reading what it is positive.
Well,
you
if
know what I'm
it's
saying?
if it's a guy in your case with this cornerback who they've been talking about since camp started, basically, right? It's kind of been like this dude with the Patriots where everybody's been yapping
Well,
about.
they're like, what is this 6th-round pick doing, taking these reps and covering every receiver out here? You know, it seems like he's always challenging the ball. So, so I guess if you see him doing that in the game, at least it means he's not scared.
Teams win Super Bowls with 6th-round picks.
Yeah.
I can vouch for this personally. And that's why.
Yeah.
Because look, it doesn't matter. I liken the NFL in terms of the draft. I liken that to literally the MLB playoffs and the NHL playoffs. Just get in the dance. Just get drafted. Because once I don't care if it's 1 or if it's fucking, it's $8.99. Just get on the field. Because at some point, the players are going to determine this shit. Who's who and who's what. And if that guy is a 7th-round pick, so be it.
Well,
Julian Edelman was a 7th-round pick. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Well, Wink Martindale said a cool quote I liked. He goes, "It doesn't matter how you get here.
No, just get
Once
there.
you're here,
Once you're here, it's all that matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you went to ODU or you went to Michigan or whatever the fuck."
So when you say to me, "What's this 6?" We've seen 6th-round picks do shit like this.
I know, but so
No.
for me, the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is like, if he's going up against some 3rd-string quarterback in the first week, what can I really get from that? You know what I
would
mean?
think you're looking at, is he a good tackler? When the ball gets there, how fast does he close on the play?
Mm-hmm.
Is he blanking these guys where they can't even get open? Because that's hard to do
I'm
at
not gonna
any
watch
level.
it
And I'll
that-
tell you,
I won't watch it that closely. I promise.
well, you don't have to. I'm saying if you're looking for something.
No, yeah. I
I'm
understand
saying
what you're
right,
saying.
I'm going to watch this fucking receiver closely because that's
Mm-hmm.
the Pats' one glaring problem.
Yeah.
And it's not from it's a depth.
But who's going to be throwing to him? Mac Jones isn't playing, right?
Zappy?
Bill Belichick's other golden goose.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And Bailey Zappi has said the same thing Mac Jones has said. This guy's always open.
Okay, well, that's
It
good.
doesn't matter the coverage.
All
And
right,
he's
so you
going
got a
against
receiver.
he's going against the ones when he does that. He's not doing against the Pats. He's going against the Pats starting secondary when he's doing this. So that tells me there's something there.
Here's another one I'm looking at.
Everybody's saying it, yeah.
So Jalen Hyatt. The only thing is, so he was a 3rd-round pick.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're going to play him or not. But I think he's still proving himself. So hopefully that
You
means...
got to get reps, so he's got to get some time in
And
these games.
I would love to see him, just get past the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been talking about how impressive his speed is. I want to see what it's like against other guys.
I can give you a very recent example of this. Cordell Patterson. When he was Cordell, because the Patriots drafted him, and when he was in preseason in the games, he stood out like a sore thumb. In week 1, week 2, and week 3, that motherfucker. Not only did he make the roster, he helped the Pats win a Super Bowl, and look at what he's done in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. The Pats actually let him go, which they still can't understand because they want to fucking pay him, Bill. Okay, and he's wreaking havoc down in Atlanta. He's been their best offensive weapon. And I'm telling you right now, but literally, you saw it from week 1 of training camp. And it was the same thing. Well, he's doing it to those guys. And then week 2. And then week 3, when the pros do play a half, then you see like, holy fuck, this dude is for real. So
Victor Cruz did that for the Giants. Do you remember that?
yes.
He was undrafted, free agent.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden in preseason was like, who the fuck is he?
Is he?
And
by
he
the
helped
way,
them win a Super Bowl.
I love those who the fuck is he moments because usually one of them sticks. At least one of them sticks.
Victor Cruz had a nice career.
He did have a nice career. He did very well for himself, given he was never drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's my point about the whole thing. Just get on the field. Whether you are drafted in the 7th round or you're undrafted, whatever, get on the field. Because that's when, and here's the thing about football, I love this. These dudes are out there. Beasley, Cole Beasley, the little Julian Edelman wannabe, he was a guy like that, drafted late, came in, he was a little dude, he could always get open. And he always tried to emulate Julian Edelman. I get why. And who wouldn't want him, given the career of Julian? Julian was a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
So who was a fucking quarterback of all things. So I mean, the thing is, this is what the point of it. So are there things to look for in the Yes, there are.
Yeah.
And if you got two teams like they're in the playoffs this year, their expectations should be like, all right, we got to take it the next step. They brought in the tight end who's Pro Bowl caliber. They drafted some people, the receiver who won the Blitnikoff Award. Okay, let's look at these guys. These guys are going to play in preseason. They've got to play. Rookies play in preseason, all of them, because they have to. Regardless of where they got to get on the field and get ready. So the rookies, those guys, they're going to play. So if you are there's things to look for. Yes, there are. But the big thing with me is always just don't fucking get hurt. Just get everybody.
That's the worst.
That's the worst thing. See, that's what scares me about preseason. And that's the other reason why I watch. Because I want to get these guys in and out, get them because they got to get their reps. I get it, you got to play them, but you want to minimize it.
Especially when you know your team isn't deep.
Yeah, if
the Giants, I don't think the Giants are deep.
Well, they right as of last year they weren't.
If Darren Waller gets hurt, which he has been known to do.
But the thing is, if you know that the team isn't deep, that means they know it too. Yeah. Let's see what these draft picks. You're going to see all these draft picks in preseason. And what you want to look for is, all right, was this guy going to be a good player? Or was this a bad pick? Was this guy sucked and he's gone after the first preseason game? So there are things you're looking for.
They drafted a running back. I forgot. Who's Eric Gray from Oklahoma?
He's going to play.
I would love for him to be a good number 2.
Maybe he is.
Because right now it's Saquon Barkley, and I don't know if it's still Matt Breida or not.
Yeah.
But it's just like an average running back. Mm-hmm. If this kid's got something special about him.
Ramondre Stevenson is a 4th round draft.
Yeah.
He is now 1,000.
I think this is Eric Gray.
I'm saying this is why you watch preseason, because this kid's going to play.
Yeah.
You're going to see him. And you want to see what he's going to do. And so
I'm getting excited.
I'm saying there's things to look for. In your case, you just said it. The Giants weren't deep last year. All right, let's see what they did in the draft to address that, because they know they weren't deep. They knew it. That's what the draft is all about.
They also signed 7 wide receivers.
And they're all going to play.
Because their receiving room just got decimated.
Here's the thing. The Giants, all of their receivers are going to have to play, because other than Slayton, none of those guys are guaranteed a spot. There's open competition right now for wide receivers with the Giants. So if I were you,
brought in Cole Beasley.
Yeah, if I were you, I'm watching all the fucking receivers.
Paris Campbell, Cole Beasley, Isaiah Hodgins.
Because Saquon's not going to play until week 3.
Shepard.
Saquon won't play until week 3, and he might play a quarter. That's it.
You mean preseason?
The preseason. So you've got a lot of other things, and they should, and they won't do it.
Yeah,
but they won't fuck with him. They won't. He's got to play one. They'll play him one half of one game, and that's it. Yeah. Like everybody else, dress rehearsals for all the studs is week 3. Everybody knows it, and then they have 2 weeks to the opener. So that's fine. But in the meantime, these first 2 games, this running back, this receiving core, who they brought in, who can make this roster and contribute.
Darren Waller's the only one you don't really need to see from.
No, he's proven.
Exactly.
I'd keep him out. Given his injury history,
and don't even let people see what your offense will look like with him.
No. You're running basic shit in weeks 1 and 2. But again, you want to see who can perform with basic shit.
Go route slants.
Because by the way, if a guy can't perform with basic shit, he can't do it when it matters with the real stuff. Yeah. That's why these guys get cut. So that's what you're looking for. Who can get the basics right?
Yeah.
Because then you can build with that. And that's what weeks 1 and week 2 are all about if you're a coach. Trust me on this. So yes, there are things to look for, America, and it's not the wins and the losses. Honestly, I would sit there and I do this. I have the fucking list of the draft right there, and who's playing, who's not, and is he in there now, and I'm looking for that guy. That's how I watch preseason football. I'm not looking at the final fucking score. I can care less about that. What is this cornerback what did this cornerback who got drafted in the 2nd round going to do in a nickel package on 3rd and 8? What's he going to do? Who's he guarding? What's he going to do? What's his assignment? Or if they drafted a pass rusher, okay, what's this defensive end? Because he's going to play in the preseason. They got to get that guy reps too.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch,
drafted a starting center.
If you're a diehard fan,
to see him pancake somebody.
If you're a diehard fan like here, and I've done this forever, by the way. I don't know if he probably hasn't done what I'm about to tell you. But if you want to look for something in preseason, you should have the draft sheet right there in front of you.
No, you know I haven't done that.
I know you haven't, but I don't think most of Americans. I think let's just get me ready for the season, and then you wonder why your team goes south. You can figure that out in the preseason, by the way.
Some people don't want to know.
But if you watch that, but you want to see that they're drafting well. If the guys that they drafted are playing, are they doing anything right? Are they showing progress, or are they out injured, whatever? But I would have that list in front of me, and I'm looking at certain guys.
Sure.
With the Patriots, to me, the biggest thing is wide receiver. So this kid, this 5'8", 6th round draft pick, I want to see him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and see what the huff fuss is all about.
Have you seen the little guy on Dallas?
Yeah.
What do you think he'll be able to do?
He's a third down back. He's got third down back written all over him.
Dude, I saw somebody run through him. He looked real small trying to block.
He's very small, but third down back. He's a receiver. He's not a blocker.
But if he's in there on third down, he's going to have to be a blocker.
He's only in there on third and long. He's going into the pattern.
He might have to chip somebody, though.
Chip, that means you're helping with a lineman. You're not taking a guy naked. Now, if it's blitz pickup,
that's what I'm saying, though, right?
Well, he's probably in the
because on a lot of running back routes, you pick up blitz and then go out.
Blitz
right?
pickup, he's the check down. So he's not
going to
hit
and
he's got to hit and then block. Yeah, they call it block and flare.
God,
he flares out into the flat.
I mean, I give that guy credit because
it's tough.
When I saw him, now a guy came blowing through on him and went right at him.
Yep.
He stayed in front of him, but he got knocked back at least.
But your job is to stay in front of him.
I know.
And even if you lose that battle, you win the war. Because if that guy's on the ground with you, you know where he isn't? He's not in the quarterback's jock strap. So if you go down, but he goes down with you because you held him up, then you did your job.
Part of me thinks if it wasn't preseason, he would have gotten his bell rung.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
So,
I think his name's Vaughn.
You're screwed, Vaughn.
Something Vaughn.
Vaughn's his first
Deuce
name?
Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn.
That's it.
Was he 5'5"?
Yeah, he's
tiny.
When you see him,
I got bigger chunks of corn in my crap.
When you see him,
was a fat bastard. Shameless plug. He's tiny.
He's tiny.
He's tiny. So, anyway, that's what I'm looking for in these first two preseason games. I want to see this kid. I want to see the other receivers that are going to play. I want to see the offensive line. There's a lot of things. I want to see this number one cornerback they drafted. What does he look like? So there's a lot of things to look for in preseason if you're a diehard fan. Start with the draft. Who your team drafted and what do they look like? Because honestly, that's going to help you right there. Then you don't really care about the score. Did that kid play well? If he played well, that's all that matters. So, or kids, whoever it is you're looking at. So that's what I think you should be looking for in this draft. In terms of league-wide, obviously Bryce Young, quarterback, North Carolina Panthers, stands out to me. I'm looking forward to seeing him. His boy in Indianapolis. He's a new. You're looking at a new Florida Gator fan. By the way,
Anthony Richardson.
Richardson.
Let's go.
Yeah, I want to see him, and he's going to play early probably too.
See, the thing I like about him is he's kind of like superhero style. Like he's just a different, like 6'5" or something, 255. I'd like to see him just stiff arm some DNs into the ground.
He could do that, or he could be, what's his nuts?
I just hope he doesn't get hurt playing.
He could be the biggest bust in NFL history. The guy that went number one for the Raiders and got $60 million, and he was built like a brick shithouse.
No, but Jamarcus Russell wasn't a running quarterback.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yeah, he was.
No, he couldn't run. He was slow as shit.
Look at his college stats. He ran in through. That's why.
Really?
He was a dual threat. But his arm, he had a big arm.
I don't know. I thought he was slow. Maybe he got slow once he got big in the NFL.
He looked fast. He came in fast.
That's why I didn't think he was a running quarterback.
No, but in college, you look at his college, he was LSU.
You can't go based on that. Well, I guess you have to because he barely played.
That's how they saw him.
He barely played.
It's Jamarcus Russell, right? Jamarcus.
Yeah. Played 15 games in 08, 12 in 09. Yards, let's see, rushing. Come on, give me that. Give me the full stats, you fucks. Rushing, here we go. No, not in the NFL. He wasn't.
In college. No, he was fat.
In the NFL,
he looked like
he got 4 yards his first year, 127 yards his second year, and 44 his third year.
Yeah. No, I mean, he
was not a runner.
Not in the pros, he wasn't.
But Anthony Richardson, I'm excited about him. I'm kind of excited to see what the leash is on Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Because they have Will Levis now.
Yeah.
Now, I never heard of Will Levis until he was drafted, so I don't know if he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting if they pull Tannehill and this Levis kid makes them better.
That could be interesting.
Because they've had Tannehill for so long, they just feel mediocre because of him.
Yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of the Tannehills and the what's the ass clown there, Kirk Cousins from fucking Minnesota. People tell me how great these fucking
See,
guys
I
are.
kind of like Cousins.
Everybody likes this fucking guy, but he never does a fucking thing when it matters.
That's bright.
And that's been his career defining moment. I don't give a fuck about 35 touchdowns in the first.
One shining moment.
It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. Okay, it's what you do when it matters most. This guy has fleed from the moment every fucking time. And I'm not talking about. Yeah, he put up good stats in the playoff game against the Giants, but the Giants weren't a great defense. Number one, and number two, putting up good stats isn't the same as leading your team to victory. Oh, he had a good game. Well, you know how much money you're paying him? You don't pay him the money to have a good game. You pay him to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against that team, and that didn't happen either. So, and he has the weapons. He's got the weapons. So. To me, I don't care if he threw 33 touchdowns and 13 picks in the regular season when half the teams he played didn't have a good defense. That's called padding your stats, America. I laughed when Joel tried to tell me about the Celtics 3-point shooting in the regular season when 3/4 of the league doesn't fucking play defense at all, so it's going to be inflated. But in the playoffs, when the real defensive joke, look at them then, when it matters.
Another quarterback to be excited about?
Who?
C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
In Houston.
I'm curious.
Some people were saying he should have been the first pick.
I know that no one expects anything out of the Texans this year, and I get it. But there are some things that when you look at what they've done, they've quietly done some good things, starting with the coach they hired, who was the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. D'Amico Ryans, who's an ex-player for that team, and he's been a great defensive coordinator, and Houston couldn't stop a nosebleed in the recent memory. So that's and then they draft this fucking great quarterback. So they addressed both sides of the ball immediately.
And the thing about the Texans, how many games were they into the final fucking?
They were in a lot of games.
They were in so many games.
They almost beat the Eagles.
That's right.
They literally almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They gave the Cowboys fits in one game. I was like, you gotta be kidding. I mean, so they were in games.
Yeah. They were not. That was was it Davis Webb or what's his name?
I forget who it was, but it was just like.
Webb Stevens the third?
I mean, the third.
Davis Mills?
Was it the third?
It was either Davis Webb or Davis Mills. One of them was the Giants backup and one of them was the Texans starter.
I mean, I think that they have quietly done some things where there's going to be a few teams they upset this year. I think they're going to shock some people. They're not going to
especially if C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, they're not going to be the doormat that people are making them out to be. I'm not saying they're going to win anything, but they're going to be a tough out. I just think they are.
C.J. Stroud could be better than Davis Mills or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
they got Schultz.
Yeah, the tight end. Yep.
Dalton Schultz. That was the guy that the Cowboys let go.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I thought the Panthers got him.
I
was wrong about that. I thought the Panthers got him. So Schultz went there.
Yeah.
They got Shaquille Griffin, Jimmy Ward, Devin Singletary. He's not that impressive.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are teams that look. The NFL season always goes like this. There's going to be at least 2 teams this year that make the playoffs that didn't make it last year. At least 2, because every year that it happens. Every year it happens. There's going to be at least 2 teams that get in this year. Detroit's going to be one of them. I can tell you right now. Detroit Lions going to be one of them that get in this year that didn't get in last year. So
at the expense of a team that got in last year.
Some team always falls off that got in. I would think Minnesota is going to be the team that falls out. One of them right there. And then I don't know about the Miami Dolphins. They were 9-8 last year. This kid is one hit away.
Yeah,
and there were 3 elite defenses in his own division, and he's playing the NFC East on top of it. So Dallas's D comes to mind. Philly's D comes to mind. The Giants are a playoff team. So they don't tell me shit. The fucking Commanders were 8-1, and nobody's even talking about them. So my thing is
because of the quarterback situation.
Because we don't know who their fucking quarterback is. But the thing is, they were competitive in the best division in football last year. So this kid's got a tough ass schedule in front of him. I don't know that we looked at the Miami's draft. They didn't address the offensive line. How the fuck are you not? How was that not your first?
They signed a bunch of old guys.
Yeah. How did we talked about these journeyman linemen? We couldn't fucking name any of them in the lineup, and none of them has a Pro Bowl amongst them. So we don't even know how good they really are. So we know they're not Pro Bowl caliber. If your quarterback in a passing league is your priority. The left side, especially since most of them are right-handed, the left side of the line in particular is your second priority. Because you've got to keep him upright. You've got to keep him protected. Mm-hmm. And Miami didn't draft a lineman until what round was it? Did you saw the 6th or 7th? Whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was late.
It was late, and they brought in these journeyman offensive linemen who have no track record of real success because none of them made a Pro Bowl.
I don't think they drafted an O-lineman.
I think it got one late. I thought it was like
the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, we laughed about it, remember? We fucking like, the 6th round? You got a quarterback who had 3 concussions in a month and you wait till the 6th round? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because part of those concussions is his line couldn't protect him. So what?
7th round.
7th round.
They got a tackle.
So when I say to you 2 teams fall off, I just gave you 2 very realistic ones.
Well, if it just says T, is that
tackle?
Offensive tackle or defensive tackle?
No, DT. It says DT. It's always DT.
Not OT though?
No, just T. Because DT for defense. They always put DT and just T. The only thing they might do LT left tackle or right, RT right tackle. They might do that. But it's that or it's just tackle.
It's just weird that they just put T. I guess because he doesn't have a...
Yeah. Maybe they're trying him out of both spots.
It does say offensive tackle. Yeah.
Okay. So my thing is, and we laughed about that. How was that not Miami's priority? They've got a good running back. They've got a stellar receiving core. Their defense is solid. They brought in Surtain, who got hurt, but they had him. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, and he got hurt. But so at least they addressed that. So what the fuck did you do about the offensive line? I don't think
Michigan.
I don't think you should be trying to do this with glue and duct tape. Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Glue and duct tape. Okay?
Who were their big pickups? So their second round pick was a cornerback.
Mm-hmm. But if
they
you're asking
didn't have
me,
a first round pick.
Yeah, but if you're asking me, and Tampa Bay, who was not going to make the playoffs, they were the division winner last year. There's 3 teams right there that I can tell you right now, probably not going to make the playoffs.
Tampa,
this year.
no way.
So that means 3 teams.
Tampa's the easiest one.
So's Minnesota. They lost. Dalvin Cook's gone. Their defense is terrible. And Kirk Cousins, who isn't that good because a year older. And Detroit.
I think they could get away with it in that division, because they can beat Green Bay twice.
Detroit's better than them. Chicago, I don't know.
I think they're better than Chicago.
Chicago gave that dude.
No.
Remember now, Minnesota last year, of their 13 wins, 9 America were 1-score games.
That's true.
9. You think they're going to get that lucky? And they had Dalvin Cook, who they don't have now. You can tell me they're going to get that lucky again? Go ahead. I'll take that bet. I'll put hard money against that. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Seattle's going to be better. They drafted Jigba, the receiver from Ohio State. They were a playoff team. Seattle's going to be better. Okay? The Detroit is definitely going to be better. The Giants are better. I'm telling you right now. These are. Trust me. I don't see Minnesota in this equation, barring major injury to somebody else that knocks them out.
But they get 2 wins from the Packers.
How do we know that? The Packers still have those running backs.
I know, but now...
The Packers had a top 10 defense last year. So how do we know? Look, this all hinges on one thing. Does Jordan Love look like he looked when he did play? Because when he did play, he looked pretty damn good. And if he looks pretty damn good, the Packers are going to be competitive. They're not going to win the division, I don't think, but they'll be competitive.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're cakewalks. Chicago's not going to be a cakewalk. They brought in the receiver there. They drafted
DJ Moore.
The running back's going to be better this year than it was last year. I'm telling you right now. So Chicago's not going to be a pushover either. So I don't think they're guaranteed to win 10 games. No fucking way.
I feel like Justin Fields is kind of
lying in the weeds.
I don't know. They're kind of
lying in the weeds.
Talking about Justin Fields like he's like top tier sometimes, I hear. And I don't know that he's...
He had a good year. He had a good year given what he was working with.
That's probably true.
He did. So...
He had Claypool and Montgomery.
They lost Montgomery, but they brought in the receiver. And...
DJ Moore.
He's good. He's a star.
And they probably drafted a back, I bet.
I'm pretty sure they did, because Montgomery went to Detroit. But I'm just saying that their offense last year was the quarterback and Montgomery.
Right, he was just running for his life.
So I expect them to be better and more competitive. So that's not going to be easy for Minnesota. And Miami was 9-8 last year.
Drafted a 4th-round running back.
The Jets are better. The Patriots are better. They both are on paper.
The Bills are not.
I don't know if the Bills
Dolphins are not.
The Jets and the Patriots both look better than they did last year. Buffalo does not. And neither does Miami based on what happened.
Let's see what the Bills drafted.
So
do you know about that?
They have the Patriots running back Harris, who was good when he was healthy, but he could.
But what did they draft? Let's see.
Where were they? Round 1. Did Buffalo have a
they
first
got
round?
they got the tight end Kincaid in the first round. They did go tight end. And they traded with the Giants for that pick. Really? I didn't realize that.
Utah. Kincaid. They got Knox. They have a good tight end already. Tight end wasn't their problem.
Maybe they got rid of Knox.
No, he's still there.
They got a guard second round, linebacker third round from Tulane.
Who's he?
I don't know.
Tulane, huh?
Another guard, cornerback. I don't really know any of these players. That doesn't mean anything because.
No. Dorian Williams was the linebacker from Tulane.
But I think boosting that offensive line would help.
Well,
because he tends to run around back there sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it would be that if I'm Buffalo, I'm looking at pass rush. Do they add any pass rushers? Because Von Miller is 34 years old. And the second they lost him, that defense sunk 2 levels. And that was really their downfall at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if I'm a Buffalo fan, I'm looking at the Bills' pass rush specifically on defense. Shut down corner, did they get one? Something like that. Things like that. And maybe another receiver. But in that order, if I'm a Buffalo fan, that's what I'm looking at. So, again, pick your team. Every team's got flaws. Okay? So that, to me, is where I put my focus in preseason football. That and, of course, health. So who are these teams that are – what pieces were they missing, number one? A. B, did they address them in the draft? And C, if they did, are those players playing? Because they're probably going to be playing in week 1 and week 2. And you want to get a look at them. Right there. There's reason for this because you got to do this stuff to figure out how you're going to fill out your roster. And the team that doesn't take it seriously is a dumb one. Okay, and the good coaches say, I don't care about your record. I'm looking for development of certain places where specifically to make this team a contender. That's what every coach's job is. So if you know where their holes are, and if you're a real fan, you do. You probably do. You're probably right. So that's what you're looking for in preseason. Anyway, we're going to end this segment on that note. We are past the 30-minute mark. I think we're right in a good spot.
We tried to go 20 on this one.
We said between 20 and 30, that would be okay. It'd be kind of money. 32 minutes is not a big deal. But anyway, we'll be back Wednesday night. We will preseason football. There'll be games. We'll talk about those Thursday games.
No, we might do Thursday.
I thought you didn't want to do Thursday because you had to go in the office on Friday.
No, I never go in the office on Friday.
You want to do Thursday night?
Because this week, I think I'm going to go in. I typically go in Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought Wednesday night was kind of money for me.
But now I'm gonna this week because of Casey working. I'm going to go in Wednesday, Thursday.
So Thursday night.
Yeah.
I work from home Thursday night. No. So anyway,
Thursday
night, which these games will be on, so we'll talk about them and what's going on, what we saw, because there'll be a slew of games on Thursday night, I believe. So we'll see. That'll be good.
That'll be fun to look at.
It'll be fun to look at. Take a look and see who's doing what. We'll figure out that schedule. But in the meantime, you get through the first 3 days of the week. Tomorrow's Man Up Monday. Man Up America. That's what we do, right? Nobody's happy about tomorrow. Okay? I don't know anyone that looks forward to Mondays. I don't, unless they're going. I
happen to love my job. I wake up with the same vigor I did the first time I walked in. I'm motivated, man.
Did you believe him? I didn't. But anyway.
How could you not believe that?
It reeks of sarcasm and despair. Keywords:
reeks of cynicism.
Sarcasm and despair.
Cynicism, deceit.
So we're also going to start our 11-day shred tomorrow. We'll give you an update on that. That's for those of you the healthy people. But until that time, 72-hour break, the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo, the highly questioned one, Audrey Miliaccio. We will see you on Thursday, America. Until then, the anti-Aaron Rodgers crew. Stay loose. Loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey. Goosey like Lucy.